So they want us to go colonize Mars and invest all this money into Mars. And we have a whole polar region that is completely underdeveloped. Or so they tell us anyway. I don't actually believe that this is what's actually going on up here. This is just what we're shown. There's no way we would actually be able to know. And there's a lot of weird anomalies and glitches. Okay, like, this is just, you know, you can see that this is being covered up. Like, there's just a perfectly straight line here, and we can't actually see what's going on. Okay, it doesn't make any sense that you can have a global satellite system, but we can't actually look at the north. And before the last timeline shift, I remember there being like a North Pole region, and it's completely like been memory hold. People, there used to be a North Pole like there was the South Pole, and it looks like actually in this timeline now, this has been completely changed because this was like way smaller. Now it's actually a giant ice wall. Okay. I mean, like you're telling me that Antarctica like is longer than South Africa or South America, right? That you're telling me that it's almost like a reverse of that too. Anyway, I'm not focusing. I didn't want to focus on the South Pole because the North Pole is vastly. Everyone's talking about the South Pole, but the North Pole is vastly understudied, right? I mean, so you have Svalbard. You're lucky to be born in Svalbard, right? You're lucky to be here. It is a country where I mean, people are just living up here in the Arctic Circle. No one really seems to like question it. No one really seems to have any big problems with it. But these places, like, they're almost completely uninhabited, right? Like, where am I right now? I'm somewhere. There's houses and there's people, and that looks like a woman. Okay, they're just chilling in the Arctic Circle, developing places. And where even am I? I am on Cervenaya Zemlya. Okay. And people are just living there. Um, no questions asked. Like, what is this island here? There's a backpack. Yeah, just a random guy just chilling on this island that I've never heard of before in the middle of the Arctic Circle. Bear Island. Okay. Um, right, there's just a bunch of Norwegians just living here normally, not really caring, not really having any problem about it. In fact, they look pretty happy, right? Like, look how happy these people look, and they're just colonies in the Arctic that we don't really know anything about, and this is just normal. Okay, I mean, this is where I want to live. Why am I living? Why am I living in Canada? I mean, I'd rather live, if I'm going to live in the Arctic, I'd rather live in the Arctic governed by Norwegians. There was one spot. Where was it? Anyway. Like, there's just ships everywhere. It seems like there's just ships all over the place up here going around. Um, no big deal. In Svalbard, you do have to carry a gun with you at all times. It is the law. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Like, I don't know. These are Russian governed bodies, right? Um, okay, there's like a dock here. There's like a dock here. And yeah, we're going to go to Mars. Meanwhile, we have the entire Arctic that has yet to be developed. This is just incredible. Like, and Svalbard has a vault. They literally like have a vault. They talk about the vault. It's supposed to be for the doomsday. And I guess this is for when the Sino-American War happens. They can just go into their vault and this is, I think this is near the capital of Svalbard. So they can go in their vault and live out humanity's future in Svalbard as the rest of the world perishes in nuclear hellfire. The Norwegians are already thinking ahead. So at least there's that hope for humanity that somewhere on Earth there will be a vault full of Norwegians with a seed bank who will continue on after we all perish and have to deal with rad roaches and various death claws and whatnot trying to kill us on the surface. I know Fallout is a video game, but it's full disclosure. Fallout takes place in North America for a reason. A lot of the other regions on the Earth will be fine. If you live in North America, you'll be hurting. Okay. So we have people living in the Arctic, no problem. They look really happy, actually. No, except for that person wearing a mask. That's a little bit sickening. And yet we have to go to the Mars to live. Now, why is like this region up here? Like, I can't go anywhere here, but why is it greener than the lower region? Right? Why is it like that? Where can I go? There's just somebody up here going for a walk in the land of the midnight sun. I can't see them, but like there could be so many islands up here that we just don't even know. And if you're going to make a vault, like drilling into the permafrost is a really good idea because it's going to be way more stable. It's going to be harder to drill in it, but I mean, we can drill rock, so We can drill permafrost. There's just Anzu Islands. Can I even go here? The Russians also have a polar origin story that the Slavs came from the north and went down to Eurasia. Like, uh, what I don't understand either is that this is Iceland, okay, right? I mean, they've completely terraformed into a paradise. What I don't get is that Graham Hancock, right? He's so obsessed with going to the tropical regions and going on these dive expeditions. Right? He seemingly always goes to these comfy parts of the world on these dive excursions. He's not going to like the harsh north or Antarctica to explore any of these topics that are actually quite mainstream at this point. Okay, that's Iceland. Okay, that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. No, he's going on these trips to, you know, the tropics, and he's a boomer. If you haven't realized by now, Graham Hancock is just using his theories as an outlet for his boomerism. Right. It was funny when he was on that Joe Rogan show with that mainline Soyance archaeologist, and I found myself sympathizing with the Soyance dude, even though I know he's wrong and I don't agree with him. But just the boomer arrogance of Graham Hancock just made me think, okay, you know what? Yeah, like this guy is full of shit. And so he's not going to Svalbard. He's not going to Antarctica. Um, he's going on diving expeditions with his wife. Okay, he's got a good business going on. I'll get him. I'll give him that. I mean, it was smart to go that route. But he talks about the fingerprints of the gods as well. And he gets in trouble because these ideas can be conflated with Nordicism, which there's definitely an overlap. I mean, it's undeniable. Except I'm not a Nordic chauvinist. Okay, like there are plenty of other groups of people I like. Okay, I like Finno-Ugric people. I like Celts. Who else do I like? I like the Japanese as well. I think all these people too, like the Japanese, I think they have a metaphysical origin as well. I just don't know enough about it. I think lots of people do. Um, Probably everybody does in their own way. You have to realize that we all have a different dimension that we come from. There's infinite dimensions out there. And many of us incarnate from different types of dimensions, and we have like dimensional groupings. So Hyperborea is just one of the infinite dimensional groupings that there are outside the world, the universe. And Midgard is kind of where all these dimensional groupings sort of overlap. Each dimensional grouping is trying to migrate, trying to alchemicalize Midgard into their own dimension. Hyperboreans have, I mean, look at the Faroe Islands, right? They've like turned it into. I like. I want to live here. I am working. I actually have a pathway for my EU permanent residency, and I'm thinking I'm just going to do it because I can't. I just can't. I can't North American anymore. I can't do it. I can't be Canadian. I cannot handle having to talk to everybody all the time or be expected to. Like when you're in these areas, it's just such a relief because you can just be. You don't have to make eye contact with people. It's not considered rude. Anyway, like you're lucky to be born in the very tip of Norway. I don't know where I am right now, but I would love to live here. Like look at this place. This is just a random spot. Sondre Torbolgat. Sundra Torbolgata. Maybe that's a better pronunciation. Tak. Tak. Looks comfy. Skippergata. I'm in Tromso. I've heard Tromso. Yeah, wow, looks really comfy. I mean, yeah, I would rather live here than Florida any day of the week. Any day of the week. That's a thing too. Like I don't need to live in a cabin in the woods. I would be fine living in a what do they call them? Like what's like the meme speak? Like a box or I don't know. Whatever the meme speak is, but I could live in a box as long as I get to live here, right? That's fine with me. Yeah. As long as I get to live, you know, I don't care if I have to live there. I would love to live there. Look, they got a little garden. Yeah, a little garden. There's like a little backhoe top. Heck, I live there. I live in that building. I don't care. I don't need to live in a Scottish island with a light in a lighthouse and, you know, scry in my magic mirror all day. I mean, I'm fine living here. Maybe in the off season I'll scry in the magic mirror on the island, but problem is like I mean, this is northern Russia. It's just so vast. Just so vast. Like completely undeveloped. And we're going to go to Mars. Sign me up, Elon. We're going to Mars. Gonna do some prospecting up there. We're gonna do some prospecting up there, boys. Even northern Russia, right? I mean, doesn't look too bad. It's kind of nice. Okay, it's not Norlisk, but I don't think every city in northern Russia will be Norlisk tier. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back to like the chauvinism thing, I think it's a big problem actually. Um I'm like I have there's a couple of things I have right now I'm fatigued with. I have chauvinism fatigue and I have slopsetics fatigue. Um if you can't build any alliances with anybody who's not 100% your exact blonde blue dodiophilic skull shape, you're going to have some problems. And I'm not saying that you can't recognize that we're all different. I extremely um, have pointed out how different the Apollonian Mediterranean civilization is from the Hyperborean civilization. But just because I point that out doesn't mean we can't ally with them. But you have to understand that there's differences within people, and that's okay. I point out that we're different mainly to there's a couple reasons. Number one is that we are not exactly of the same stock, and so when people say that the Roman Empire and the Greeks were tall Nords, there's a bit of a problem I have with that. Actually, there's a quote. Hold on, I'll bring up the quote. Yes, even Plato says that there are three types of people: the Hellenes, who were free and balanced; the barbarians of the north, who were brave but wild and disorderly; and the Asians, who were refined but weak and servile. So, even back then, there was a distinction between the Hellenes and the people of the north. That doesn't matter. It doesn't mean we can't be friends and ally with the Malians. But if we just act like we're the exact same people, they want to take naps, that's fine. We want to be wild and disorderly. Okay, I don't really think that's the case, but yeah. And like there's lots of like Turkic cultures that are I find interesting as well. And the Mongols, say what you will about them, but they had some pretty interesting feats. But yeah, if you can't I have chauvinism fatigue, I have slop fatigue. Like if you can't build alliances, like I have a lot of I have a Vietnamese buddy, and we kind of from day one we're like, yeah, we are like extremely different people. Like we're not the same. We're not just these interchangeable cosmopolitan pegs that you just shuffle around. Like we have very distinct backgrounds, and in order for you to kind of like bridge the gap, build alliances with people, um, you have to acknowledge that you're different, and that's okay. Somebody got really angry at me one time in my comments section because I said they were Vietnamese psychics, and he said, "No, only Hyperboreans can be psychic." It's like, okay, I mean, I don't care what you believe. I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. A thing I have fatigue with is just slop aesthetics. Everything has to be an ironic joke, right? Everything has to be like there just has to be a underlying disgust layer behind everything. Otherwise, like you can't take it seriously. And if you take like anything seriously, then you're just a chump, basically. And that was really exemplified to me with the whole Sam Hyde addressing Elon spiel that went on. At best, it was it was oh, I don't even know at best what it was. At best, it was a poor attempt to sway somebody who's clearly not on your quote unquote team. And at worst, it was disingenuous and actually trying to derail the conversation to make anybody with nativist opinions look like a. I don't even know what that was. You know, he's talking about Asmongold and he's talking about. What else is he talking about? The other guy, Moist. He had a good point about the Chinese, not fighting to have massive amounts of immigration. I mean, that could have been addressed in a different way, but if you have a guy in a warehouse who looks like Leon Trotsky, sharding and harking and spitting and coughing and going on about Asmongold and Moist Critical. Don't you guys think that makes people with those opinions look a bit goofy and look a bit deranged and look a bit, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't trust these people who have been on television and on mainline television channels. Okay, I just don't trust anybody like that. So if you guys do, if you guys think it's fun, he's funny. People always ask me what I think about Sam Hyde. Oh, is he funny? Is he funny? I have humor fatigue. I really just I don't care. I like Norm Macdonald pretty much. That's like the only comedian I like. I just I know in North America everything has to be funny and everything has to be a joke and you have to smile and I'm tired of it. I just don't care about humor. I cared about humor when I was a teenager watching South Park and smoking weed and getting MK Ultra out of my mind. Um, but now everything has to like the guy has video clips of himself like making himself throw up in like a bucket. Like I don't understand why people want this to be the representative, but that's just me, guys. I don't fit in anywhere. Okay, I will never fit into a group. That's for sure. I would rather just live up here and not have to care about American politics ever again. Even though I'm Canadian, I'm still saturated by these topics every day. Right? Yeah, you just live up here and like, what's up with this island? Like, there's no drop points. There's nowhere I can go. I can go here. Whee! Whoa. Okay. Now we are in Soviet Mother Russia. Divide, divide. Okay, like this is why I would rather live in a country governed by Norwegians. what can I say? What can I say? Imagine living here. That would okay. This would actually be a bit rough. Kind of looks like a gulag. Like you can't escape this place. You can't escape this place. Like if you want to leave, you're driving forever. But people just live up here. People just live up here in these random gulags in Russia. This is nice. Oh, look, you got a little BMP or something. This is like where Putin took his vacation at one time. That could be him, actually. Got some Tartarian architecture here, harvesting real energy from the atmosphere into batteries that are made of lithium under the ground. Okay, I think there is something to that whole Tartarian stuff, but I think I've talked about this a bit before, but I think like a lot of it has been poisoned, well poisoned. Let's go to Finland. So, what I agree with in the Tartarian sense is I do believe that this Antiquitech has healing benefits. Especially if you've been to some of these old cities in Europe and you like go like the astronomical clock in Prague. Like Prague is a very Tartarian. I don't like using the like Hyperborean city. Like if you go here, it's kind of like a portal city. Like the veil is very very thin in Prague, and you really notice it when you're in the old town, especially in the old clock town. There's the clock. I have a picture of the clock actually. I saw the clock. Um, and that building too. This building, it's actually built in a way that it's not symmetrical, and that was done on purpose to represent creation. That creation itself is not symmetrical, as we can see with all the variations and whatnot of the natural world. As we can see, we're moving out of this age into the next one. Pisces. I think that's Pisces. Yeah, I saw the clock. And like this area here is absolutely it's absolutely veil thinned. I saw vampires, I saw warlocks, I saw everything under the sun here. And I saw a man, he was like 7 foot tall with in a trench coat, holding hands with like an old elderly crunched up woman. Okay, like that's not normal. That's a vampire. Ja sam silni barbar. Давай. Jedem na to. Český pivo a český jídlo. Fakt dobrý. Mám rád český. But yeah, this is like a Tartarian, Hyperborean city, right? These are like I agree that these harvest, like they're made of copper and whatnot. These harvest energy and just make not only do they make you feel better, but it also like kind of thins the veil at the same time. I think that's what the purpose was to kind of like harvest, drill, and thin the veil to where you can interact with certain energies. That's the Charles Bridge. Apparently, the Charles Bridge was made with milk and eggs. It's one of the most famous bridges on Earth, and it's apparently its mortar is mixed with eggs and milk, and that's how they built it. Somehow, that these people could build. That's the other thing about the architect, the Tartarian thing. I should say Hyperborean thing because I think it's more related to Hyperborean. Is that we can't build what people used to be able to build. I'm trying to get away from this guy. Why? He's everywhere. Whoa. He's gang stalking me and Google Maps. Okay, I'm getting out of here. That was a bit too much for me. Yeah, so we can't build what we used to be able to build. We can't create the same level of material soundness, like the quality of the material even is lower. And so in that way I see the value in Tartaria. But the other aspect of Tartaria that I don't like is that like there's a massive universalism aspect to it where it's like everyone's from everywhere and we all got intermixed and just dropped in random places, and there's a lot of universalist psyop within it. I don't know what happened in this video. I was planning on just making a polar Arctic video, but for whatever reason I'm going off in all sorts of directions. But all I know is that this is not what is up here. Okay. Like, look at this gap. Come on. You're telling me there's all this stuff here, all this stuff there, and there's just this massive gap right here. Nothing. There's not one landmass up here. Look how big this area is. Right? It's like bigger than Canada up here. There's nothing. There's not one speck. You can see like there's ridges and stuff, right? They got like these ridges. Maybe this is like the pathway to Agartha. There is a bit of an Agartha connection too with Svalbard. Like there's all these underground caverns that are constantly shifting. And so there could be like a portal down there to Agartha. My intuition is telling me that Svalbard is way more than what it seems to be. And I need to go there. I need to go on a Hyperborean expedition to Svalbard. North Pole Museum. South Spitsbergen National Park. Edge Island. Can we go to Edge Island? Wow. I mean, this looks really nice. I feel like there's a lot of boomers up here. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like boomers want to go. Maybe that's another reason why boomers want to go to Florida. They want to go to, they want to go to the Yucatan Peninsula. I don't know if boomers want to go where it's cold. Boomers are like a tropical people. They're like a tropical bioenergetic people, right? So yeah, that's as north as I've gone. I mean, that's actually pretty north in terms of like Canada. Oh, actually, no, that's not as north as I've gone. I've been to Yellowknife when I was a kid. I've been to Yellowknife, and I mean, like we have our own polar regions, but I just don't want to be governed by Canadians anymore. I want to be governed by people who make seed vaults in preparation for the Sino-Japanese American resource wars that are approaching, right? Like, look at their northern regions and look at our northern region. Something has happened to us. Okay, we're cursed. Anglos are cursed, and that's probably why. Right? Like what's up here? Like, like Baffin Island, how could it not be like Iceland? It's pretty much the same latitude, except like who wants to live there? Like where am I? I'm in a hockey rink. Like it No, I don't want to go to hockey rink. I want to go to Equalit or whatever you pronounce it. Why am I it won't even show you what's going on out there. I'm in a classroom. This is the reality machine right now. I'm walking around the classroom in a Calumet somehow. And this is all happening live. Maybe there's some symbolism happening here that we can look at. Okay, we got some Inanna Ishtar worship going on, of course. What time is it? It's like 5. Okay. Okay. We got the triangle. We got the eye. It's looking at us. Okay. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs written in Arabic on a Inuit fellow. It actually kind of reminds me of the mural style at the Colorado airport. Right? Stay. This is like the 9/11 incantation. Plane, hit, tower, burn, die, Jakob, Boaz, right? It wasn't inconspicuous at all. Nobody questions that. Okay. Plane, blow up. Tower, invade, Middle East. Like they just don't even care to hide the stuff. Okay, I'm in a school in the Baffin Island. They have a polar bear rug. I mean, what the heck? Like, this school is nicer than any school I went to. Like, what? Where? How am I in here right now? Oh, it's not Arabic. That's like their language. Okay. It's almost runic. in a way, isn't it? There's like I can see a little bit of like some runic type of born to pull. Right? These guys have their own culture, 100%. Like it's just this is like their like it's all their cultural touchstones. They're surrounded by it constantly. I never got to be surrounded by my Scottish cultural touchstones, even though everyone's like half the class had Mick or Mac in their last name. Okay, I'm just in a school and none of it right now. I did not plan for this to go this way, but we're just going to kind of roll with it right now because I feel like something's happening and it's happening. Can I go outside? Wow, that's their school, eh? Nakasuk. Okay. Oh yeah, the point I wanted to illustrate was before I got engulfed in the elementary school. The point I wanted to illustrate was like why this isn't really going to be a good representation, but like why doesn't this look like Iceland in terms of the development? They have Tim Hortons. I wonder who's working there. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Like Canadians, we don't know how to we still haven't figured out how to upkeep our streets in the summertime. Actually, when I was in Finland, I did have a conversation with a Finn about this. He lived in Toronto for a couple of years and he was just like, "Why can't you guys do your roads right? What is going on? You guys have had snow for 200 years." It's like, yeah, I completely agree. It's like, you guys just salt your roads and just plow and salt, plow and salt. And like, yeah, it's like they have all these different techniques. They have heated roads. I mean, can I go back to this random building again? That was kind of funny. How did I get in there? That was. Can I go inside RBC? That was really weird, guys. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. What are these things? Like these are like net are these just nano machines that just take pictures of everything everywhere and we just, or like is somebody taking pictures for Google? I don't even know. Okay, yeah, this is somebody gang stalking their colleagues. George Benora. Yeah. So we're gonna go to Mars, even though we have vast amounts of resources in the north and the south that are completely underdeveloped. And Elon is taking us there. Okay. I am so glad that I have once you've been in this game long enough, you pretty much realize like, okay, like if they're at the top, like they're not your friend. So I'm very glad I never shilled for Elon. Some people, it was the exact same pattern as with Trump, right? What? Where am I? I'm in a vault. I have to be in a vault. This is a vault. What? February 2024, this was taken. Where am I? I'm here. I'm Jane Mayen. Jan Mayen. What is Jan Mayen? I don't even like I've even been looking into this for a while and I still don't even know all these places. Is there a town? There's an airport. There's an airport. I know a lot about geography. I know a lot, and I've been looking into this for a while. I thought Jan Mayen was like a town in Svalbard, but it turns out like it's an island, and there's a vault. Okay. Where was my drop? My drop was here. Go back. Where's my drop? Okay, there. It's a very specific place you can zoom to. I have to be zoomed out at the right spot. Okay. And I'm back. What do we have? This is a hardware store, but it's very strange looking hardware store at the same time. Like what is that? Self checkout? It's an inventory for the vault, so when you take out like whatever you need, they can keep inventory of what they have left. A little green, that's whatever. Green flag. Can we at least see the language? Or the cost? I guess the products aren't going to be a representation of the language. I guess it's Norwegian. I don't know what's going on here. This has been a very bizarre happening. But I think electronics and consciousness are intermingled, so you're not just looking at a static database. It's interacting with your own consciousness field of view. So your mind is influencing what you see on these screens. Right? I want to go to Schizoland, so it's taking me there. Um, where am I? It's a the Cormit. Okay, they don't really have. Kind of looks like Svalbard a bit. A lot of these houses have to be like they can't have basements again. Like all the pipes have to be above ground. If people know, like there's lots of people living up, like I wonder how many million, like what would be the total population of people living in Arctic and subarctic biospheres. Okay, so like we can do it at this point. And there's a lot of land available. You got their quads. They got their quads. They're just kind of, yeah, you can tell. I mean, these are not, yeah, yeah. Okay. How far north can we go up here? Oh, they're just like, there's some Danish guy just hanging out, living his best life in his massive colony. Doesn't this make Denmark the biggest country in Europe? Right? Like Trump wants Greenland. I think he knows something. Like what is this? Summit camp. Just white. As if the ice sheet areas are just white. Like you realize that makes no sense, right? Like that makes zero sense. That like ice would just be a white grid. There's something here and we can't see it. They're not telling us what's going on here. Obviously, like why would it just be white? It's just a white grid. Like okay, whoa. See? What is going on here? Like they're trying to cover it up, but it's like glitching out because it doesn't make any sense. Right? You see like the various layers of the covering. Like this is like one layer, and then this is like they put a layer on that layer, and then they put like three layers here, and like it's just clear that okay. Like you can see the Google logo in Svalbard. Like they're telling you, yeah, like you don't get to see the spot. I think about it, like people talk about Epstein Island, like them doing things there. Like there's way too many eyes in that area. You want to be up here, right? Nordhaus landed. You can't even see what's going on here. It's like you're just banned. You're blocked. Okay, like uh, it's like angry that I'm even trying to look. It's angry that I'm trying to look. Oh man, oh man. Like, what's up here? Is there any drops up here? Is there anything? Is there anything I can see? Like, this is it? Like, this is 2024. We have satellites covering every square inch of the Earth's atmosphere, and I can't see what's going on up here. Okay. But yeah, like, for me, I've had a lot of experiences with, like, map changes in my life and Mandela effects regarding, like, geography. Okay, like, whatever dimension I'm from, like, South America, it was like, it wasn't popping out towards Africa. It was like in line. It was like here. Like, it's just not that far. Doesn't look right to me. Also, Switzerland looks really weird to me in these days. Right? Like Austria having this weird squiggle border here. I remember Switzerland being like more like closer to like shaping in near Innsbruck. Um, it's just weird. It's just weird. The shape of Austria is really weird to me. I don't remember it being like that like 20 years ago. Way too close. Remember everyone making fun of Palin? Okay, I'm old. Everyone making fun of Palin for seeing Russia from her house. Like that was like some like nonsensical like blabbering. Like why is that controversial statement? I don't know. it was a controversial statement, like the other reality, when like there was a significant gap on the Bering Strait. Like, remember, it was like, oh, they crossed the proto Native Americans crossed the Bering Strait in this epic adventure. It's like, how is like they could swim across the Bering Strait? Okay, they could like easily raft across. There's a little island pit stop in the middle. How is that like some great feat? The Bering Strait was frozen back then. That was a miracle. It was this epic adventure. Okay. Now there's this like massive archipelago that just goes to Russia. Like they could like skip. They could skip. They could skip from Russia to the New World. Look at this little. Like, what are these islands? Does anyone live here? Where am I? This place looks magical. Why aren't we building real estate here for people to live? Okay, there's a housing crisis. So, like, sign me up. I'll colonize this place by myself. Just give me a couple like imports. And then you just have a random blonde chick waiting for you to come colonize this land. Okay, like you can't even. Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. There's already Hyperborean blondies waiting for you to colonize these lands. I think there's a road. Somebody's driving here. What am I missing? Who lives here? Who built those roads? Fox Islands. What? What? My god, it's Hyperborea. Maybe this is where we need to go. We could just fish. Like people are already building harbors here. There's a real estate crisis. I guess this place would be pretty temperate. Like, you know, it's like it would be nice. That's what I always thought. Like, I always thought like Vladivostok would kind of be like BC, but like Russian BC, right? Where's Vladivostok? Somewhere over here. Like, wouldn't these places just be Russian BC? Okay, maybe. Well, some places are BC, but yeah, it's certainly okay. It's like Russian BC, right? Oh man, it actually kind of looks kind of like that type of biome, you know? There's just Russians living off of salmon and the Russian East Coast, which would be like our West Coast, just eating shellfish all day. He knows. He knows. I don't know where Vladivostok is. Yakutsk. I think it's down here somewhere, right? Whoa, where'd I go? Right, there's just like Slavic people just living all over an entire continent. And they just kind of took it over. Looks nice. Looks really nice, actually. Does it have a BC vibe on the east side of Russia? That'd be funny. They're all like smoking. They're all smoking dope, and they're more liberal out there on the East Coast. We've got some H1B1 visas over here. Well, where am I at? We're really far in. This was not supposed to be like this today. This was supposed to be me making a scripted video about Hyperborea. But the ore log took me somewhere else, and I probably had to go there for a reason. Okay, so thanks for making it this far. Um, if we want, I don't know, like, do you guys want me to do more Google Earth explorations? Let me know. This guy just lives. I mean, this is kind of like the dream, actually. You know, I would be so happy if I could live in a situation like this. Like, this is actually the dream, and then I guess we'll leave it here because this is pretty much what the goal is.